how do you guys plan to differentiate yourself from other stock exchanges in the Caribbean and even in the world?
So there are a few pillars that the stock exchange has in terms of strategic initiatives, but there are three that I really focus on. The first one is regional expansion, so I'll talk about that specifically, and then the other two are diversified revenue streams, and then the third one is increased public financial literacy, right? Because I think that there's a big opportunity there to continue to get more people involved. All right. So with respect to how we plan to differentiate, I think that kind of falls into the first category of my areas of focus, which is regional expansion, right? So I think if you think about the Caribbean, as somebody who actively does business in many markets in the Caribbean, um, Jamaica has by far the most advanced capital market structure, right? We have a stock exchange that's vibrant. We have regulators that, notwithstanding issues from time to time, really adequately govern our financial system, and we have brokerage houses, financial institutions that are constantly focused on coming up with new and innovative solutions to get our investing community involved and to create value for all of those people who are participating in our capital market. So we have a vibrant capital markets, right? I would say to you that there are other islands and other markets that don't have as vibrant capital markets, right? And so one of the big things for me personally is, how do we find ways to get the companies in other countries actively participating in our capital markets, and we've seen it. So you see that Massey is cross-listed on the stock exchange here. I think there's a whole host of other opportunities for lots of companies that are well poised to be a part of the Jamaica Stock Exchange, right? And so you're going to see, I think, a lot of activity in that area going forward. There's always been talk, right, about should there be merging or acquiring of exchanges and things like that. And on the face of it, I think those things make sense. Like consolidation as a general economic principle, I think there is value to be had in consolidation. But there are other factors that are involved, and we can't eliminate the concept of national pride associated with different countries and their stock exchanges. Can't ignore the fact that a lot of these countries are small island states that need to manage their financial programs effectively and efficiently, and so and regulating their stock exchange within their own parameters really does help them do that. So maybe there are some things that prevent sort of like the consolidation that you normally think about, but our stock exchange is open. It is open for business. It is open for partnerships. We're going down to Guyana again in October for the second year in a row to find ways to increase the level of partnership with that market. They have lots of oil, lots of money associated with oil. We have a robust capital market structure. We have an excellent regulatory regime. There must be an opportunity for us to collaborate and for us to work together. And so the theme really for me is about, how do we find partnerships that leverage this amazing platform that we have to build out the stock exchange and to create value for the shareholders of the stock exchange first and foremost, but also to create value for Jamaicans and all of those people who invest in the stock exchange.
Because you mentioned the cross listing.
Yes.
I think it was last year or early this year. You guys, the JSE mentioned that they're working on a partnership with the Nairobi Stock Exchange to actually have companies cross-listing, like us listing companies there and then them also listing companies. And another thing that the JSE mentioned this year or last year was that they wanted to allow overseas investors or international investors to actually more easily invest on the JSE. So I think that's definitely a big push, because if you look at, for example, a lot of our companies on the JSE, the multiples that they're trading at, for example, the kind of company GK is, like Commercial GK. The P, what Thaon mentioned, the PE was like 9, and if you look at the plans that they're having, on an overseas, on like a more, I guess you'd say, developed stock market, it would not be trading at that price.
Well, I would not say more developed. I would say our stock market is fairly thinly traded, right? And so, you know, a lot of what happens is that if you look at like how stocks move sometimes, stocks move at very significant impact on prices for very relatively small volume. So the trading sometimes can be thin, and that impacts a lot of the companies. And so you know, making sure our stock exchange is open, and that's the word I'll continue to use. Our stock exchange is open. It's open for business. It's open for partnerships. It's open for customers. It's open. Okay. The more open our stock exchange is, I think the more I think you will see that alignment with global multiples, and probably see increases in that. So I'm very bullish on the market itself, right? Because as you said, if you look at companies that are solid, have good growth plans, and you know they're trading at multiples below 10, you really need to kind of think about what opportunities there are to invest in that kind of vehicle, because the upside should be significant.
Agreed. And I'm pretty sure a lot of our listeners would love to hear this. Like they're hearing all of this, and it sounds so great.